Hello, everyone. We are going to tell you about it today. How can Pocket change the outer membrane? And what else to pay attention to? The first thing we are going to do is examine this outer membrane. The middle crease is bigger. There's no problem touching anything else. So let me tell you something. What should I pay attention to? Let's just take it one step at a time. Our separator uses 98 degrees. Why 98 degrees do you know? 1. The camera can't be hot. The second, small screen cannot be subjected to high temperatures. 98 degrees is so fine. We usually choose about 98 degrees. And put a silicone pad on the bottom of this. The purpose of the pad is silicone. It prevents the lenses from scratching and the small screen from overheating. When I put it up, and then we clamp it with our clamp, and then fasten it on. 98 degrees is not too hot. The first step is to fix the screen. Once the screen is fixed, we turn it off. The best way is to turn it off first. What's another good thing about being cold? It can effectively protect the battery when the temperature gets too high. Battery life is not durable for a long time. That's a pretty bad crease, so let's warm it up. Preheat for about 2 to 3 分钟 use. There are some slightly hot surface can be. It's this bracket that's attached to it by this black adhesive. The whole thing is glued like this. During the gluing process, we drizzle the right amount of alcohol. After a few drops of alcohol, make sure your nails come in, don't pull them. If you pull it, it's a very malleable bracket that breaks easily. Pay attention to this detail. Number 2 is the button. The black button is also glued on. So when it gets hot, we can pull it off with diagonal pliers or wire. Let's wait and wait for 2 minutes. 2 minutes have passed. The surface of the screen is already hot. We use alcohol anhydrous ethanol 99.7 brothers. Just a little bit, and then you stick your nails right in there and just pick. Don't tear. I'm just going to take this glue and just cut it open. Very convenient with alcohol. Sprinkle alcohol. Stick your nails right in the crevice. Straight up with your nails. If the buckle doesn't open, drizzle some alcohol. It's very easy to get down. The PUR glue is much better in the presence of alcohol. Put some alcohol where you can't get down. It just clicks off. Don't let it snap. It's gonna be a little tricky if it breaks and you have to replace it. Put a little less alcohol in the line and not too much. Okay, turn around. It's very easy to handle when it gets warm. Don't rip, just stick your nail right in. I'm just going to do it. We're out of brackets. You can use diagonal pliers for the next 2 buttons. Drop of alcohol. Use diagonal pliers. Shake it around a little bit. Pull straight down. It is held together by glue. And then a drop of alcohol here. You shake it, it burns and it sticks and it comes down. And then the crack in the middle of it. We usually use diamond wire to divide. We're gonna tear the ends by hand. This screen often has a problem. Someone will put a protective film on the surface. After applying protective film, it's like 3 layers if you have a protective membrane. This membrane has 2 layers. Its second layer must be broken, too. You can just use the wire to split the 2 layers. 2 layers is a little thinner. We can tear it by hand. Somewhere in the middle that's prone to leakage, we can just pull it with wire. So let's go straight to this thin slice of OC. The dorsal membrane of OC must be the dorsal membrane of OC, plus 99.7 small alcohol. From this line up there, make a cut. I'll just rip it off with my hands. In this case, anhydrous ethanol is used. Remember that anhydrous ethanol is 99.7 alcohol. Then, let's just gently peel the membrane off. Don't tear the film too fast. Let's just hold it back with even force. Don't drink too much alcohol. Just a little bit of alcohol on top. Even force. Even speed. It's a little safer that way. Don't use brute force alcohol to keep up. Just tear with even force. If you find the whole thing harder to tear, you can start with the sides and then the middle. The same way we put the wire, the left side first. Rip the left side. And then rip it on the right side. Try it on the left and try it on the right. Try again on the left. This will go a lot faster. Alcohol catch. First the left and then the right. Alcohol catch. That way it will tear with less resistance on both sides. The tension on the surface of the liquid crystal is also a little less. To the place where we always crease. We're playing it safe. We should have used the wire at this point. Don't tear hard. There's a lot of leakage in this area if you tear hard. Or a lot of rainbows. Notice this little detail, everyone. The way we teach you is the way with the highest yield. Just get on the wire. You see, we're still walking the dog. Put the wire in the gap. Let it fall in naturally. It's easy to cut the membrane if you don't fall in and pull hard. We walk the dog. Is the wire naturally fell into the gap inside? It's safer. Because there are too many creases. It's easy to make a rainbow on the edge if you tear it up. Making a rainbow is similar to layering. Hook walking method. Let's do half of this. This is pocket. Pocket it doesn't have UTG. Without a UTG we can pull it this way. And we'll talk a little bit about what do we do with screens that have UTGs. Let's go through them one by one. You can put this any way you want without a UTG. Just take the middle, the leaky area. Just wire it over. We can tear the parts that don't leak easily with our hands. So the yield will be much higher. Did you see that? One hand pulls the wire and the other hand follows. The middle is almost done with the wire. Is it okay if I go all the way? You can go all the way. It must be safer to pull with wire than to tear by hand. Especially in the middle. It's basically the same yield at both ends. Let's do it over here. Alcohol follows the most vulnerable areas in the middle. I mean, we move faster when we're swinging from side to side. Don't tear so much. It's left, right, middle, left, middle. It's going a little faster here. Should we do curved screen or folding screen? Be careful not to use brute force. It breaks easily with brute force. We have even power. Where the pupil is shut. Tear slowly and not with brute force. Just let it go slowly and naturally. That's where the camera's pupils are. This time a little lighter. Let it pass naturally. Alcohol catch. Don't pull too hard on this place. Okay. Now this glue is super soft. We're gonna take it off to cool. Cool to room temperature before removing glue. Don't heat it up at this point. Let's take it off and cool it. Remove the glue when it cools to 0 surface temperature. Now the screen has cooled down. We turned off the temperature on the separator. I'll put a cushion under it. And the goal is really to keep this heat from going up. Now we roll the glue. Don't put anything in the glue, okay. Roll the glue at room temperature. It won't roll off the hot glue. It's sticky on the screen. It's sticky. That's why you have to roll at room temperature. You want to roll slowly to this edge. Because this edge creases too many times, roll a little less at a time. This place has a chance of a rainbow. It's just too many injuries. And when it comes to wiring, don't roll so much glue at once. Roll a little less at a time. You can't control it if it's too much. Easy to pull to hit the line. Don't go too fast. Stick to the edge and roll less. It doesn't matter if there are more rolls in the middle. Roll a little less into this crease, because it has lengthwise pulling power. It doesn't matter if you roll it faster in the middle. This folding screen is different for each model. For starters, remember, what potion do we use and what method? Do you use any potion or any method? In particular, don't mess with the potion. Some types of potions can cause great trouble if misused. Keep that in mind. Not all the screens in the folding screen can use alcohol. Pay attention to this problem. When we get to the next model, it goes through which models you can use alcohol and which models you can't. The upper position of the glue to roll a little bit less each time, do not roll more. Roll more, easy to pull it after, easy to leak. Pay attention to small details. This glue is very sticky. Crease, place roll less roll point. Prevent too much force on its surface, resulting in delamination. Let's just glue it with a nano sponge. Nano sponges don't need to be too big. Use this nano sponge for our good luck. I used to cut the sponge into small pieces. It's more comfortable to rub in small pieces. It's okay if you don't hit it while we're at it. We use this thing. But you can't erase the lines. Let's just rub the surface. It will remove the glue better. No heat. Let's go ahead and just rub it. It's going to have a little bit more residue. Because glue is sticky, it's easy to rub if we use it well. What about this place? We use nanosponges to match this. You just wipe it down. Nano sponge with alcohol rub. This glue will be very good. Fit well. You can wipe it with alcohol, but alcohol is a little slower. A little bit slower is not as fast as good smoothing. I want you to wipe it down. Just a little alcohol and a dust-free cloth tape later. What screen is this and what potion does it use? Let's not get confused. Take a look at the video if you don't understand. Using the wrong potion can be tricky. Sometimes you use the wrong potion. It was supposed to be done in 2 minutes. You end up spending an hour or two more. Let's clean the tail line. This is better to use. Be careful not to brush the line. It's easy to skin a row of lines, but you're usually fine if you have a little skin. Just try not to let that happen. Try not to touch it to the front. Actually, it's fine from far away. Once in a while you say it's okay to touch a little. I don't care if I scratch it a little bit, but it doesn't skin until you've done a lot of it. It won't scratch a little bit. Okay, so we're clean now. We use nanosponges. This clean cloth is 99.7 alcohol. We still don't have any heat. Give it a surface rub. It has creases on this side of the screen that are polarized. Why don't we start with the simplest problem? This needs to be communicated to the customer whether he is willing to change. Because changing the polarized light is a little bit more difficult and the price is different. That's why we use wire in the middle, right? Because of that crease, it's blocking your view. What's going on underneath you that you can't see? So if we choose the wire method, it will be very safe. There's no vertical pull on this place. If you tear a place like this, it is very likely that there will be leakage, like this one where the bottom polarization has gone wrong. So if you can't see the problem at the bottom, let's use wire in the middle. It's very safe to use diamond wire. If you rip it by hand in a situation like this, there's a good chance it's going to go straight up, and then there might be a rainbow. Pay attention to small details. Because of what's going on under the crease, you can hardly see it. So you have to pay attention to the little things. There's a very, very small glue spot underneath the camera. Take it off gently. Otherwise, it will be a little more difficult to put on the film. In this case, let's talk to the client. Let's see if he changes the polarization. Let's go ahead and change the polarizing light. Don't change the polarization. We'll just put the film on him. The impact should not be huge. Run the machine and have a look. This is the polarizing light and the liquid crystal underneath has been demolded. We tore to layers. So when you can't see the bottom crease, this place must take the most conservative approach. It's done with wire. Let's see if there's a password. Let me see if I have a password. Have a password. We can see it on the white screen. His polarized light is injured. The polarized light and the liquid crystal have been stratified. We open the white screen. Can you tell from this place? After tearing two layers of membrane. So this is polarized light and liquid crystal basically layered. Well, if the client cares, we'll just change the polarizing light. If you don't care, we just put on the film. Use it the same way. Come on, guys, let's just fit. Pocket film how to paste. The membrane is straightened. Direct a small scraper. That's easy. The bubbles on this are pushing gently, not pushing hard. Complete machine defoaming. How much pressure? 4 pressure. Do not exceed the pressure temperature 65 degrees. Direct bubbling. We take out the sealant and hit it with both hands. This screen rotation will make the glue more even. And both hands will be steady. Don't hit the LCD. If the next master dismantles it will be difficult. After the glue is done, the screen is very simple. So let's see. Just put it straight up. Get this bracket ready for him. Put it in the tail. Just put it gently. And a little bit here, too. We glue this button the same way. Give him a little bit of glue on this edge. Direct loading. Same thing over here. Put some glue on this place. Once it's up, we'll deal with this last. Put this screen on our separator. I set the separator at 60 degrees. Then press the bracket down a little bit. Give him a gentle squeeze to keep him down. Put some pressure on it so it doesn't fall over later. Let's go straight up. Center both sides. Push it up and press it hard. Check to see if there's a gap on the side of the bracket. The cracks have closed very well. And then I center it. Once the gap is closed, 60 degrees, and then we're gonna give him a good squeeze. What if you don't know how to do it? Let's put a cushion under it. And then put him straight on the mat. Just take a mold and press it like this. Hold the pressure for 5 minutes. Okay, 60 degrees. Okay, done.